Hey, yo, man, check it out. This is Black Deniro, a.k.a. D-Boy of the Year. And I want to give a special shout out to Mikey T, the movie star, man. Stay tuned, you dig?
Man, it's an honor to have the executive producer, writer, and director Black Deniro on the show today. What is good?
What's up, man?
Man, I just appreciate you giving me the opportunity to cover your story. You know, from music to film, you've got quite a work ethic.
Right. Gotta have that work ethic.
Hell yeah, man. Let's talk about growing up. You know, where in Philly did you grow up and how was your early life?
I grew up in West Oak Lane, 69th, Ogontz, Forest Avenue. But I migrated up here from the age when I was about 14. So prior to that, I was in North Philly. I grew up 2803 West Oakdale Street, right off of 28th and Lehigh. We was good. Me, my two brothers, my older sister, and my baby sister was born down there. And but then 85, crack epidemic came through. Tore the whole family up, mom, aunts, uncles, and then we got separated. Me and my brothers, we was together at first, but the whole family got separated. We went to group homes, shelters, foster care, and all that shit. And then my aunt came and got me out of foster care, and that's when I moved up here.
Damn, that's crazy, man. That's deep.
Yeah.
An 80s story, you know what I mean? I was born in the late 80s, So what was it that pushed you to actually get into music, and at what age was it?
Well, before all those rough times, I was always into music. Like, even on my documentary that I got coming out, called Philly's Most Underrated, it was I'm explaining how I was always into music. Like, being as though I'm older, my favorite rap group ever was like Run DMC. Like, you couldn't tell me shit about them. You know what I'm saying? Big Daddy Kane, G-Rap. But I really wanted to be like Run DMC when I was around 10 years old. So I was in my room one day. I was just upset about something. And I had one of those strong moms. Like, all me and my brothers, my whole family, we act just like my mom. My mom was the most genuine, loving person around, but she was a beast. Anybody that knew my mom was that, she was the one. Everybody say that, but she was the one. And she had a lot of heart and courage. So she was always, encouraging us. So when she came out, I could have been crying or I was upset or some shit. She was like, "What's wrong with you?" And I'm like, "I want to rap." She's like, "All right, well, rap." I'm like, "No, I want to be Run DMC." She's like, "Well, shit, you ain't got to be Run DMC. You can be JFP." Because my name, John Floyd Pennick. That was my name from there.
So how do you go from there to, creating actual records that were gaining recognition, like your first major joint, Superman?
So from there, I was rapping a little bit. Like, I only had like 2 raps when I was 10. And then I wasn't really rapping no more because that's when all the shit happened with, my mom getting caught up on the drugs and my aunts and uncles. And we went to a shelter that's still behind Pet Boys on Stanton Avenue. But I didn't even know that was where we were at until I lived up here all this time and got grown. It's like, damn, that's where we was at. So I went to the shelters, the group homes, foster care. Then me and my brothers got separated. So I started rapping again when I moved out Easton. I had a foster family in Easton. I used to live with the Lovels. I still talk to him to this day, Richard Lovell. He used to work for Larry Holmes. So I used to work for Larry Holmes too back then. Like, I remember when he fought Tyson and all that shit. I was working for him then. And I started rapping then because I was comfortable with my family out there. It was a good home. And I used to be at the boys club just like battling all the little rappers around. Because a lot of people that was in Easton, they all were coming from, there was only a couple people that was born and raised out there. A lot of people was coming from all type of, a lot of foster homes and stuff like that. So it was people from North Philly, South Philly, Pittsburgh. Everybody was, you know what I'm saying, at the boys club. And we used to battle, fight, all type shit. And when my aunt came to get me from foster care, I wasn't even sure if I wanted to leave because I loved that family. But I came with my aunt. And then when I got up here, I was rapping and, You know, I wasn't really rapping then because I was really sticking people up and I was just doing all type of dumb shit. I was young. And then I went to high school. I went to King, and I was running around rapping circles around niggas in there. And then I ran into this guy named Doc Holliday. His name Tariq Mustafa. Called himself Doc Holliday. Still one of my closest friends to this day. And I was all arrogant, talking shit, and this nigga rapped, and it was just like, damn. And that really made me want to rap after that. So I was just rapping and just making a name for myself rapping, but I was so more into the street that I never took rap serious. So getting those records from these people, the first time I ever asked somebody to do a feature with me, they did it because I was already known for being who I was in the street. You know what I'm saying? So when I asked Young Chris, Beanie Sigel, Gilly the Kid, whoever, Freeway, as soon as I asked them, we did it. But I earned that spot because I was hot already. By the time I asked them, I don't ever ask nobody to do anything for me until I feel like I've earned my spot. And once I was all over the radio and I was all over the streets and all over the underground, I started a trend. I had everybody saying, hey. I had the jails on smash and people knew exactly I was living when I was rapping. Then I would say, what's up? And then people would come do the record because of who I was. You know what I'm saying? Not saying like that, just saying like I was, you know what I mean? It's a third person. So it was what it was. So that's how I was able to get all those people on records. Actually, I'll be on my ground with the first record. I called Beanie Sigel for me, Cosmic Kev. Somebody else was on the phone, and I was asking Kev, who should I get on the remix? And we decided Sigel, and we called Sigel, and he came up and did it that day. So, but I already was in ciphers with Sigel on Sigel Street prior to that. So he already was familiar with me. So I already knew most of the people, and that's how I was able to get those features and get those records. And then after that, I really wasn't into rap again because I started booming again on the streets on another level, an entirely different level. So I wasn't focused on it. You never get focused on things until it's either too late or things are being jeopardized. Everything was at risk, and it was like, okay, it's either stay in this lane and die or go to jail, or get in this lane over here and really, showcase my talent that God blessed me with. And that's what I did. I just left the street shit alone and just went full-fledged on. But it took a long time to get to that point. So thank God I was able to last and do it,
So on the Superman remix, you actually had Gilly the Kid from Major Figures. You had State Property members on there, Petey Crack, Oskino, as you said, and
right.
of course, the homie Ines, who was what was he, buzzing from the Making the Band show back then? So you had some major players on this joint. How'd you manage to get them all together for the video shoot though?
I was hanging with Ness a lot. Me and Ness was hanging together all the time. We got like 2-3 projects together. We was banging out shit every day. I saw Gilly every day. So Gilly walked over to me in the studio one time in the Batcave before it was even called the Batcave. He was like, yo, you be having some shit. And I was like, yo, whenever you're ready, you know what I mean? I got something. You get on something. He's like, all right, well, so you can get on this. And it was Superman. And I put him on the Superman remix. I already knew Ness was going to be on it. The remix I put Gil on something, but Oskino is the reason why it was a Superman remix. Because when the Superman original came out and it was popping like that, I was chilling one day. He called me. I was at Ness' house, and O called me and was like, "Yo, this shit crazy. I'm on the remix." And I was like, "I don't got a remix." He was like, "You got one now." So it was his idea to do the remix. We did the remix, and then I put Ness on it because I knew he was going to be on there. Gilly. Who else was on there? Oskino and Petey Crack. I called Crack first, and then Crack did it. And then, being as though O thought of it, of course, he was on there. I'm the first person to ever put Oskino and Gilly on a record. I'm the first to put a lot of people on a record. They wasn't even speaking when recording the motherfucking joint. Like, I'll go on one side of the studio and be talking to O, and he's like, I'm only doing this for you, right? And I go to the other side with Gilly, and he'd be like, you got me on the record with these sucker-ass niggas. Like, they wasn't cool at that time. but they did it for me. You know what I'm saying? And Crack was just cool. But I think that was the first record Crack and Gilly ever got on also. So being as though we had the record, I was on fire at that time, and you know, they still was on fire. Shit was cracking. Why not? Why not come do the visual?
So once the Superman record came out, what changed after that? Did you start to gain recognition from it?
I started gaining recognition from rap when I first changed my name to Black Deniro. I already had my neighborhood. I changed my name to Black Deniro. My man from 7th Street, out South Philly, MT, started Off the Hook Entertainment. So as soon as I changed my name, like a month or two later, I was on Off the Hook Entertainment. The first person to ever play me on the radio was JDS. So I was gaining a little bit of momentum. But when Superman came out, Rug like took to it. Cosmic Kev called me out the blue, got my number somehow. He started playing it. But JDS was playing it first. He was the first person to play it on a different station, 103.9, or one of those stations. So that took place. Then the Superman remix took place. But you got to remember, I was still dropping freestyles and bombing shits then. But then I did I'll Be On My Grind right behind that while Superman was still buzzing. I did I'll Be On My Grind. They started playing that all crazy. And then I did a remix for I'll Be On My Grind. And that's when I called Sigel. I got Sigel, Cassidy, and Gilly on that. And after that, it was over. It was just, I was here.
So did this music lead you to actually get in any meetings with any record labels or any other bigger artists?
I had a lot of meetings. Certain people, Def Jam, Sony, Atlantic. It was just that, it was just the point, it was just the fact that I see now what they saw then. You know, I just felt like y'all hating, y'all ain't want to sign this in, but I was a liability. I was too dangerous in the street. I was really in the street, really. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I don't even brag about it. I ain't trying to say it to even brag because I hate it now. I mean, I don't like nothing about the street. So I don't give a fuck about them. I ain't in them. I ain't no street nigga. I don't give a fuck about none of that. So, but I was so heavy in the streets and so much shit was going down. You know, Def Jam told Rick Dange one time, like, we know who Black Deniro is. Just, you know what I'm saying? We just not fucking with that. You know what I'm saying? So I just was like, well, fucking, I didn't care at that point because I really didn't care about rap. I wanted to get signed, but at the end of the day, I was doing my thing. And I was eating so heavily, I didn't really care. You know what I'm saying? So I had meetings. Yeah, they just didn't fall through because I was not, my business wasn't right. I was just on some bullshit.
How did that make you feel that your past in the street, you know what I mean, or, you know, the current lifestyle you were living at that point had cost you an opportunity with a major label like a Def Jam?
Well, I don't feel like it cost me an opportunity. I feel like everything happened for a reason. Everything happened when it's time to happen. Because I look at it like this. You see a lot of child actors spiral out of control. Macaulay Culkin, Gary Coleman, people like that. Sometimes you give people something at the wrong time and they can't handle it. So I made a thought that I was ready for it. And I probably would have got the fame. And with my mentality then, and my age and and the team I had behind me and the things I was doing, I probably would have got it in self-destruct. Or ended up being one of the rappers who made it to fight to come from the dumb shit and get rich and do dumber shit. You know, it's rappers that still do that. So I wouldn't have had the knowledge that I have now. I would have knew, like, I wouldn't have known to be like, damn, I made it. I got my family out and I'm out and I'm on some bullshit. I would have probably fucked it all up. So that's how I look at it. It wasn't time.
So Black Deniro, man, like LeBron James took his talents to South Beach. What was it that made you take your talents and your drive to movies and film?
I call it a hidden blessing, man. I was born with something different. I wasn't born a rapper. I don't think I was born a filmmaker. I was born a hustler. So whatever people was doing, I was doing. Like, God blessed me with a talent. When we used to break dance, I was one of the best break dancers. We popping, I'm the best popper. We flipping, I was the 32 handspring semis in a row. I'm flipping off walls and shit. We boxing, come on, let's fight. We playing ball, I'm playing ball. I played volleyball, I ran cross country, I ran track, I played every fucking thing. I played volleyball, and so I did everything. I was competitive. When it was cutting hair, I'm cutting hair. So to answer your question, I was born a hustler. So I always found ways to think. So when I was rapping and I was popping, I said, okay, let me figure out how can I get people to tune into Black Deniro, to the ones that don't know him. And the ones that do know me, how can I keep them interested? Because we don't have the luxury when you underground to come out with a record and every radio station saying, go get it. And there's billboards all over the place. So what I would do is I would always make a DVD. Like I got one called Money is the Mission. And I would put every rapper in Philly on it. Every rapper. Yaz before he was Hakeem on Empire, Young Hot, Gilly, Sigel, Chris, Mike Knox, Free Forge, Frank the Grippers, Joey Jahad, Reed Dollars. I would get 30, 40, 50 people on this on these CD, on these discs, and then I would put my music in. And then people will be like, oh shit, I was watching a documentary and then 2 months later, I noticed there's a CD in there and I popped the CD in, you hot. I didn't know you was that hot. So that's how I would do it to get everybody's fans. If you like Reed Dollars, he's on here. If you like Gilly, he's on here. If you like Sigel, he's on here. You like Cassidy, he's on here. You know what I'm saying? You like whoever. And that was my train of thought. So I did something called It's More to the Story. I had some songs done and I had everybody come up and listen to them. I had my man Lean from 7th Street come listen, everybody listening. And the last song I did was Just More to the Story, and it was a actual story. And it was hot, and I had it for a second. I didn't know what to do with it. So I decided to write a little thing and act it out first. So I got Cousin E to come through. Spank the Comedian came through for me. And I did it. And I just expected to get a couple more views than I usually get because I know it was hot. And then boom, shit. Everybody was just like, this when Twitter was popping more than before the gram and all of that. So everybody was tweeting it. Like Meek tweeted it out for me and people was tweeting it out. And it was like, yo, Black Deniro movie crazy. So I just ran with it like, yeah, my movie hot. And then that landed me in a situation with somebody that knew somebody from Netflix, and I did Brush. Then I put Cassidy in it, and Chris and Neef and Freeway. And, you know, I always get my guys from Philly. And we did it. I wrote a tremendous story. It was crazy, but I got turned down from Netflix, unfortunately. But it didn't matter because I made over $70,000 on the street in about a month and a half off that shit.
And I wanted to ask you, you know, you had a major Netflix campaign. How has the reaction been to Backfire?
Great. I this is the first time I've ever did a project where I can count on one hand where I seen somebody hating. One hand. And I'm talking about, they talked about this shit from Africa to Atlanta, Detroit, Chicago, anywhere I went. Vince Carter knew who I was. Everybody, I ran in Dime Q, they all say, put me in the movie. It's the first thing everybody say because it was everywhere. I couldn't go to the airport. It trended for 4 months and then trended for another 4 months. So it trended for 8 months altogether. And it was the 4th most watched movie on Netflix for over 24 hours. And that's major. That's a big ass platform. So still to this day, it was on there since 2019 till recently, till maybe April of this year. It's not even on Netflix no more. It's just on Amazon, Hulu, and Tubi and all that. But people still know what's up about that movie. It was powerful. It was a great experience. It rejuvenated me, gave me that. When you sit back sometimes and look at it and you be like, damn, I'm really on TV. I can do it. It can be done. You know what I'm saying? So every step I elevated, and it was a great response. Everybody responded crazy.
Honestly, watching the trailers, it just looks like you're getting better with each film. You know what I mean? So I got to applaud you on that. What are some of your next plans when it comes to movies?
Well, the plan now is, see, what I'm doing now is just like, I'm more low key than I was then. So at this point, I'm just grabbing bags that people don't even realize. Like with Jenny, I do something with Jenny and I didn't grab 3 bags off Jenny and it's not even out yet. You know what I'm saying? These are the bags set up for people when it's going to be released. The probably first release will be Urban Flicks in November. And it's another streaming site. And I can still talk to Netflix and Amazon. So I'm doing that. And just the goal is to just get bigger and bigger and bigger and better. I got a new film coming out right after that. I'll be filming for that top of next year. and just get better with my writing, keep elevating with my writing until somebody come with that multi-million dollar situation for me. You know, if not, I'll just keep doing what I'm doing, and until that happens. So that's the goal. My ultimate goal is to bring a studio to Philadelphia. Probably would have to put it in Delaware because it's a lot more land, but I want to bring a studio here. If you notice, anybody that ever make it, they don't really bring nothing back. Like nothing be here. Now, and there's no shot to nobody. It's just nothing here. You don't see no studios. You don't see Will Smith studios or Kevin Hart studios or Meek Mill. And that's just no shots. Nobody. When you speak reality stuff that really is not here. Not saying that they're not doing anything for the community or anything in the second third. I'm just saying my goal is to be the first one to bring something like that here. That's how much money I need to put a studio, big as Tyler Perry shits, where people from the whole tri-state area and all over the world, but mainly the tri-state area and mainly Philadelphia, can have that have an affordable place to go shoot their joint, so they don't have to borrow their man house or borrow their car or use somebody's restaurant. You got the hospital, the gas station, you got the jail, you got the bank, you got the houses, you got the neighborhood. I need a block and blocks of a studio. That's my ultimate goal.
Let's talk about Jenny. Can you tell me about working with Goods on the new film, Jenny?
Goods, man, that's my friend, man. Like, I don't call people my friends. I don't have a lot of them, but he's very genuine. He's business minded. We done made money together, and I ain't make money with some people that I've known for 20, 30 years. We're not scared to share each other light. We met at Gnome 7. We recognized each other. We exchanged numbers. He came down for my Backfire premiere. I told him he'll be in the next movie, and it was what it was. I support everything he do. He drop a cologne, I buy it. He drops something, I'm grabbing it. If I drop something, he's grabbing it. T-shirts, whatever. Whatever we doing. So we think a lot. He has a very mature way of thinking. We don't worry about what they saying about us. We don't deal with pride and perception. So we don't care about what you thinking about us or what you say. As long as you don't touch nobody, we good. We did all the dumb shit. So he on the same type time I'm on, as far as let's just keep getting this business right. You know what I'm saying? So that was his first time getting his feet wet in the movie. He did a pretty good job too. And we gonna do it again. We about to do a short film together. So it's dope. That's my guy, man. He real stand-up dude.
Can you explain how your friendship with Meek Mill started?
Like everybody else. Just rapping. We always in the Batcave a lot together. Mainly Gil named the Batcave the Batcave. Rug wanted to name it Insomnia, and Gil was like, hell no. So Gil named the Batcave. So the Batcave was consist of me, Meek Mills, Mike Knox, Gilly the Kid, and Ape Gang. Those were the main people. Other people came, like Joey Jihad and Reed. Them niggas was popping out, but we were there every day. Every day it was me, Meek, Gilly. Me and Gilly was there every fucking day. Knox. And me, Gil, Knox, Meek, and Ape Gang. Reddy and Garcia. Yeah. And Preem. So we was always in there. Always Cypher just, that was the days that Cypher just come out of no fucking where. Motherfucker turn the beat on in the car, niggas rapping for hours. And you turn this something on in the studio, niggas rapping for hours. Or they playing each other the shit that we did the day before or last night. So it was always like that. And I believe Meek, the first time I did a record with him, he was in his studio, and he was going to do something with Reddy, I believe. And I think Reddy left. He's like, Black, you got something for this? And I just, bam, wrote it. I never wrote with paper, never, since 99. Even when Jay was talking that, I never wrote with paper. I always walked right in my head. So I wrote the joint, 5-10 minutes, got in there, did it. The next day, it was another one. He asked me, did I have something for that? It was me and him at NH, I did it. There was another day, he asked me, did I have something for this? I did it. So it was like, we was just all spreading love to each other. It wasn't nobody, doing other things for each other. We was just looking out for each other. And at this time, I was cool. I had money. I'm good. My records was popping. I was getting paid for features, shows. You know what I'm saying? So we was just doing our thing, and we developed a friendship, just like everybody else. So that's how it happened.
How were those studio vibes when you were recording for those Flamers mixtapes?
It wasn't just that, man. Everybody's session was dope. Everybody's session. You walk into an 8-game session, them niggas was playing some shit. Um, you walk into a Meek Mill session, he was on some shit. Gillie had bomb records. It was just, that was a vibe every day. And then we got to see everybody else come through and do their shit. And sometimes we would stay in everybody's session and just watch so many people revolve. You know what I'm saying? So all those sessions was dope. I mean, that's why I used to be all day. I used to come home and smell like that stinking ass studio all day because that's what I did. Got up, made my moves, bam, bam, bam. And then I'm in the studio because I didn't have to stand on the corner. I didn't have to really hustle hand to hand. I didn't do that. That wasn't me. I wasn't that type of hustler. I was on some bullshit. So I ain't had to do all that. I ain't had to go collect my shit. Everybody was doing that shit. Everything was done for me. I just made calls. So I just was in the studio all fucking day. We was in the studio all day, laughing, joking, smoking, doing push-ups. You know what I mean? Niggas didn't even argue. It was all love. You know what I'm saying? So the sessions was always fire.
What did you think about Meek Mill signing with Rick Ross? You guys actually recorded the BMF remix together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We talked about that before he signed with Ross in the studio. We had a conversation, and he was like, at this point, he didn't know if he wanted to go with, his exact words was, I don't know if I want to go with T.I. or Ross. Ross don't want to give me nothing. I mean, no, he said, T.I. don't want to give me nothing. He want to wait and make me, saying it's a path, a trail, and I got to take whatever he was saying at that time. I don't know verbatim, but he was like, Ross don't really want to give me no bread, but he ready to go. He was like, shit, I was asleep in the crib, and I was supposed to do that record with him and Wale. He woke me up like, yo, you get on the record? He said, shit, I thought he was playing. I got right up, boom, and did it. He ain't watched my face or nothing. He did the record. So he was like, I think I'm going to go with Ross. His exact words was like, I'm going to go with Ross because I ain't trying to stay around in his hood and get killed or go to jail. So I already knew he was going to go with Ross.
What would you say it was about Meek Mill that made him break out from Philly?
Meek did something that only one other group did here, and that was Major Figures. Nobody has ever grabbed the streets like Meek did, without cosigns and without radio play and all that first. He forced the radio hand. He made the radio play. Every fucking car going through any part of Philly, anywhere, uptown, North Philly, South Philly, Northeast, up dark, whatever, was playing Meek Mills. So he forced everybody's hand to understand his talent. You know what I'm saying? So he did something that's still, I look at that like he did. I've done things that people never done before, and I always speak about it, like put certain people on songs together. Freeway and Cassidy on their first record, Ab and Sigel on their first record, Gil and on their first record. So it's like, I can speak about that because it's never been done before. He did something that never been done before that I've seen, like, to that degree. You know what I'm saying? And I'm talking about, this was Ram Squad shit and Major Figure shit. Those are the groups that had shit on fire, and he did it by himself. I think that's what, he was going to get. It was inevitable for him to be who he is because he was going to be that regardless of who he went with, probably, most likely.
So, man, you have some classics with A.R. Rab. Can you tell me about first getting the chance to work and meet A.R. Rab?
Me and Ab met. He saw me on a DVD, and we met on some street shit. And he saw me on the DVD, and he was like, everybody down my way love you. They love you, man. They love your shit. That's how I met my man Workout through him. He plugged me in with my man Workout. He's doing real estate now. He's on his business shit. And me and Ab, see, I was on that type time at that point. So I liked everything he was saying, everything he was doing. We was on like the same caliber of, down his way, he was handling everything and that's how I was up here. So it was like, we was just as like bosses meeting a boss, and we laughed, we joked when the cameras was off. Me and Ab never had an argument. We played with each other like how me and Leak did on some. If he came up here, he would do this. I'm like, bro, if I came down north, we would be like this, y'all. If we wasn't cool, bro, this you couldn't handle this shit. And he like the same way. And he used to be like, man, I'm telling you, this is a different storm. I'm like, man, I wish you can ask the people that tried this, that was saying the same thing you saying right now. I wish you could really ask them, but they not. So we was going through a lot of back and forth with that, playing around all the time. And, you know, in New York, we had each other back when we went to a battle with Ness against, I forgot who he was battling, but he said something to Cuban Link, and me and Ab had to step outside with our joints and make sure everything was, you know, situated. And then we did a lot of business together. And we just formed a friendship, man, the bond. Anytime he went to jail, boot camp, I wrote him. I made sure, you know, I always talk to him, even with this bid. We know where each other stand. It was really, we got a great relationship, man. You know what I'm saying? That's why they was going through it with Meek. It was like, I don't know why people was thinking I chose sides. It wasn't a side choosing it. These niggas had a studio. They had my old studio. They had a studio 2 blocks away from where I was staying. So I would be with them every day. And if Meek would have had a studio down there, I would have been with him every day. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes even with rap, you gotta, when I be forgetting sometimes who I am, who I be. So sometimes you can't have an opinion or have something. So if I'm sitting back and I'm watching a battle and I see it going on and I see 50 posting it and I see these people posting it, I'm gonna chime my opinion in. So if I post Ab joint and say, hey, boom, it's fire, bro. What y'all gonna do? What you got? Niggas get mad. Don't get mad. Come back. So I'm gonna post your shit too if it's fire and say, "Oh, this is a war." You know what I'm saying? So that we formed a nice relationship, man. And I was just cool with everybody, and we was always good. Like we talk. Me and Ab almost talk every day, and me and Ab talk about different shit. We talked about life. We talk about children. Like when he went to Disney World, I was talking to him while he was in Disney World with his children. And I'm saying every day while he was down there. Well, not every day because I told him, you know, I'll call you back, spend time with the family. But we talked about that. When he got a storefront, he called me. When we was, you know, both of our mothers passed away. You know, my mom passed away first from cancer. You know, I got a call from Ab. When his mom passed away, I called him and we talked, and I shed tears on the phone with this man. Like, yo, like it's gonna get easier. This is how it's gonna go. You gotta pray, make dua. So it's a friendship, man. You know, it's dope. I mean, that's how we became who we are. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, you know, I still believe he's gonna come up off of with, you know, the situation. You know, I pray for it. A lot of people say I'm gonna pray for you, but I don't know if they really do. I do. I don't just say it. You know, I pray and hope that, you know, inshallah, he come up out of that situation. That's my guy, though. You know, any interview he come home from jail, he mentioned my name. We were right back in the studio doing records together. So I never heard him backbite me. I never heard him say anything crazy about me. I never heard so, you know what I'm saying?
What were your thoughts on ARAB getting sentenced to 45 years after the indictment?
I was sick. I don't want to see nobody. See. I know the real ARAB. Not saying that he's not. And when I say that, I mean the heart that he has in it pumping in his chest. I know how many people he helped. I know what's a lot of his intentions on when he's doing things. I know how genuine he is. I know how sturdy he is. So, you know, to see a guy like him fall, you know, off of some stuff that don't deserve that much time and it's no evidence to nothing and stuff like that. It's just they want you. So it was a sad day. You know what I mean?
And you said you've actually been keeping in contact with him recently through letters, phone.
I haven't spoken to him in a few months, but we was texting for a few earlier on. Maybe I haven't probably spoken to Ab in about 6 months. Yeah, 6, 7 months, something like that.
And I did want to ask you, was there any talk of, possibly creating more with you and Ab, like a project when you guys were working together, or maybe even a film? I know you guys did a video with an extended intro.
Yeah, that was my video.
Right.
I was always doing like movie stuff before that, and he came and did Bang a Tuck with me. Then I went down to the studio and we did I know he me,
Classic.
him, Shy Glizzy was there. There's a lot of people in there that day. That was when he was about to go to jail the first time. But
Right.
me and Ab got a lot of records together. I put him on Philly Work. I got a CD on Apple Music called Philly Work, where I put some of the best collaborations together ever. Almost everybody's on that CD. Everybody from Philly. I was always doing that. Always trying to extend my hand and show so much love. Even though if I didn't get it in return, which I rarely did. But I put him on a record with me, him, and Sigel. So we always was, me and Ab got a lot of stuff together. A lot of records. Records probably people didn't even hear yet. And we used to have the same conversation. You ain't better than me, bro. I ain't better than you. I wrap circles around you, man, because I know what you're going to say, and we would laugh and joke and stuff like that. So, you know what I mean? I miss my boy, man.
Can you tell me about your relationship with Dark Low? He popped out for all your videos with Ab. Then the two of you actually went on to work together.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I met Low through them. I could have known Dark Low before that. I know Low said he used to see me a lot when he was younger. He used to be on Forest Avenue. He said he used to see me. And I don't really remember because I was probably zoned out or something, whatever. But me and Low always had a good relationship, man. Low just, I didn't know he was rapping like that. I heard him saying, so one time we was doing a record together and for one of my projects, and I said, yo, you didn't just start rapping. You rap. And he started laughing. I'm like, you rap, my nigga. You rap. Like, this ain't new, nigga. You ain't just pick up the mic and start trying this shit. And he laughed at me. So, I haven't spoken to him since he been home. I know he going through a lot of scrutiny, allegations, and all a bunch of bullshit. So sometimes, man, I just like to step back and give people their space and let them do what they doing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear you, man. You know, Dark Low said, I'm fucking with Black Deniro. These rappers is weirdos. And then more recently on your Lemon Pepper freestyle that dropped a few months ago, you said, y'all scream, y'all real. Yeah, real different. What was it about Dark Low that made him stand out?
He's different. He wasn't, he didn't sound like everybody else. What makes him different is if you close your eyes and you listen, you can know that's Dark Low. You close your eyes, you hear a record, you know that's AR Ab. That's the beauty of music. That's how rap used to be. You used to close your eyes and know it was Tupac, know it was Biggie, know it was Nas, know it was DMX, know it was Jadakiss, know it was. You close your eyes with certain rappers now, you don't know who the fuck is who. They all sound the same. So he had a different aura. His delivery was different. The things he say was witty. So Dark Low can rap, man. Bottom line, he can rap.
But Ab did want me to send the lyrics for the joints, so I sent him all your lyrics for Leak Soft, and I sent all the lyrics
Oh,
for
he did.
Fade to Black. Yeah, Ab wanted to read the lyrics.
He wanted to read the lyrics.
Yeah, he wanted to hear the lyrics.
Oh, he couldn't get the song in it. Oh, I knew he was going to get a window what was going on.
He
Yeah,
actually
Leak
was
my
just
guy,
going
man.
through some shit. He was actually just going through some shit. They were on a lockdown because there was a 20-man fight in there. But he was like, yeah, send me the lyrics from Black Deniro and Leak. I'd let him know what you said on your page, that it was nothing, any further than two friends going at it. You guys have been going back and forth for years about who's the better one.
Right.
I let him know Leak came at you on the Beanie Sigel Die record, and then I let him know that you came at it on the Jadakiss. What was the beat called?
Put your hands up.
Put your hands up. I let him know you used the intro from Carlito's Way, and Leak used the classic from Boys in the Hood. You want to see a dead body?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that was a big joint, man. That was a dope battle. Like I told you how me and Ab used to do that, man. Leak been going through that shit. When I went to Leak crib for him to do my documentary, as soon as we finished filming, we got into that shit. We was into that shit for like a fucking hour going back and forth. So it was competitive, man. Leak's really my dude. So it was nothing for it. That's why we stopped it, because people was taking it out of content or people arguing in the comments, and we like, man, we ain't on that type of time. Man, I'm talking to my homie, he putting his kids to bed, man, and I'm doing what I'm doing. So it wasn't really, it was competitive. I knew what I was getting myself into. I knew Leak is hot. I know he can rap. I know he's solid. So it was what it was, man. We got it in there. We put the gloves on. We jumped in there and, punched on each other. That's what it was. He won. I know I won. You know what I'm saying? He feel he won, I know I won. And we went from there. That's it. So, you know what I mean? Yeah, that's what it was, man. It was just all love. It's something to do real quick. It showed me though why I just left rap alone without announcing the retirement. It just showed me why. Not because of leak on it, just because of the energy that it brings. You know, I know when I rap, I'm gonna rap crazy, regardless, even if I'm not even rapping about a particular person. So the energy that it brings, I'm no longer on in that mindset or need that around me at this with the space I'm in life and the age I am. So I'm just like, I'm cool. I'm gonna stick with the films.
That's what's up, man. And I gotta ask you, what it was actually that made you bring me up. You know what I mean? You actually mentioned me. I got a few DMs about it. I was pretty shocked. I was like, yo, this is my ARAB Drake moment.
I mean, it was all fair, man. Everything, like he said, you can grab everything. You got to be witty. You got to be intelligent when you battling somebody, especially if you battling somebody like Leak, when you can't really say too much. You can't say nobody. Okay, we two street niggas. You can't say somebody punched on him. You can't say somebody robbed him. You can't say he told on nobody. You can't say, even though he was saying some shit about me, but he knew that shit was fake. That was the joint between me and him. Like, I felt like, dog, that's fake narratives. We ain't doing that. But when you doing that with somebody that jacket is clean, you gotta go with whatever is happening in the moment and take it and use it to the best of your ability. And it's how you use the words. Because I could have said, man, you fighting Mikey T, but I didn't say fighting. I said struggling. And I said rolling around in the street. So you gotta be like, people don't know I'm funny. So, when I'm joking around with my homies back in the day, we used to be busting and cracking jokes on each other. Shit, I'm one of the top dogs on the block with that shit. So I'm gonna come at you. If you can rap, then I'm just gonna put some humor in my shit, add a little twist of gangster in it, and sprinkle a little of my boss status on it, and boom. That would have happened with anybody. You feel what I'm saying? That's how it's gonna go. You know what I mean? So that's why I put you in there, man. I don't know what made me think about it. And I was really thinking about the CMOS part before your part. So I had to go backwards. So what was gonna make me say the CMOS? When I said C, I thought of a T. And I thought of the T off. When I thought of the T, I said, oh, Mikey T. You was rubbing with Mikey T. So it all kind of started falling into place for me.
Yeah, that was
You know what I
a
mean?
well-constructed line.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you use the current event. It shows you how, witty you are when it comes to writing. And I think the two of you, used amazing production. You used some of the most
Right.
classic beats ever in hip hop. And I gotta say, in comparison to a rap battle, like when these guys jump on the stage, that was a very good one round. That was a good one
First
round.
battle I ever did in my life. I've never came at nobody. Anytime somebody said anything about me, the slightest thing, I pulled up on them. And that's what I shouldn't have done. I didn't know how to separate the streets from the music, and I should have done that because maybe I would have been bigger, because I could show people like, oh, you talking crazy? All right, well, I'm gonna out rap you too. And I'm gonna out rap you too. But at that frame of mind that I was in, it was like, don't say my name. Don't play with me. I'm not playing with y'all niggas. I'm not no real rapper. And that's how I was looking at it. When I could have just showcased my talent before. You know what I mean? But you never know, man. Another challenge come through, another nigga talk too crazy, I might pop out again. I can do that. I can stop what I'm doing and pop out anytime I feel like it, because I'm blessed.
Candyman shit.
Yeah, I'm blessed, man. I'm blessed with a gift, a talent. I mean, God blessed me with a lot of wisdom and intelligence, and I'm thankful for that.
So another one of those records you were talking about is the joint you put together with Beanie Sigel and Cassidy.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me what kind of a relationship you got to have with Beanie Sigel?
I got a great relationship with Beanie Sigel. Beanie Sigel is my favorite rapper out of Philadelphia. He's the best rapper to ever come out of Philadelphia to me. I tell him all the time. I say it in interviews, and it's no disrespect to nobody. I just think Beanie Sigel just different. I've been in ciphers with that man, and I seen everybody on the block, 30 people on, 20 of us on Siegel Street, and all he had to do, everybody laughing and joke, or somebody can say a rap, and everybody, yeah, he just said this, and Siegel can say, hey, yo, and everybody shut up and look at him. Like, it was crazy. Like, his voice, his delivery, his style, everything that he said was dope. So, I already had a relationship with him, since I used to pull up on Siegel, man, and sip juice together, and Every day I was out South Philly, so I would always go over there and see Sigel. And when Meek was on house arrest, I used to go over there and see Meek every day almost when he was on house arrest because I stayed out South Philly a lot. So our relationship is dope, man. When Sigel went to jail, he probably didn't know. I wrote him. I sent him pictures. Same thing I do with Ab. That's what I do. You know what I'm saying? I come from a different era, whereas though I move different than a lot of people. Sometimes it turn around and bite me in my ass, or sometimes people recognize who I am genuinely, and we remain that close. So anything I ever asked Sig to do, he rock out. And we just talked the other day. And we just got a dope relationship.
You know, what did you think about Jay-Z coming in and embracing the Philly talent, putting together State Property?
Same thing everybody else thought, man. At that point, it was just like, that gave people hope. You know how I see people come out? You ever see Jallo Beats come out, bam, and people are like, oh shit, you see all the producers in the world now. Damn, you can make it. So everybody want to be producers. You see Sap Beats come out, everybody want to be producers. Then you see Conway, everybody want to be producers. Then when you don't got that Conway, that Sap, that Jallo Beats, who's next? You don't see nobody now. You know what I'm saying? You don't see, it's like they might be working, but the hope is lost until somebody say boom. So when you see that happen, everybody's rapping now. The light is on Philly. They're paying attention again. They got Hove. They got Boom. I mean, they got Sigel. Oh shit, they got Chris. They got Neef. They got Freeway. They got a whole Philly group. Let me go harder. So that happens every once in a while. You know what I'm saying? Where somebody that spark because somebody on a higher level come through and embrace somebody from your city, and it just make you go harder. So that was a dope era. I was young during that era, so you know what I mean? I was out there with it.
Yeah. And you went on to work with those guys, you know?
Yeah.
So when did you get the opportunity to meet Cassidy? Was it before he blew up?
Yeah, I knew Cassidy. Me and Cassidy from the same neighborhood. Me, Cassidy, Eve, Cicero, we all from up here. So they was younger. You know, they was younger than me. So I used to see Cassidy a lot, you know? They used to just be rapping. They used to come down to the block. I've been knew Cassidy for a long time. So our relationship was always dope. And on that note, with Cassidy, the reason why I was so tight with him, even when he would go through his moments where people wasn't fucking with him or try to put rocks in his pocket while he going downhill, I never did that. I never traded on him. And I used to hear people saying, you still messing with this nut ass nigga, you doing this, you doing that, because I never did that because I don't base my relationship off of other people's relationships. So whatever y'all got going on, I don't intervene with that. You know what I'm saying? Cassidy was the type of guy that whenever I called, he picked up the phone, and he was way bigger than me on the rap scene at that point. And he was on a set of Hotel one time, and I called him, and I didn't even know that. And I called, he picked the phone up. And he's like, "Yo, Black, I gotta call you back. I'm on a set of Hotel. I'm about to do this record with R. Kelly." And you know, for somebody to do that, you know what I'm saying? Somebody to pick up a phone when you on set, and this is when R. Kelly was R. Kelly. They doing a Hotel video, you know what I'm saying? So for him to pick up that phone like that, it just made me say like, yo, this dude, whenever I pick up the phone and say I'm coming to New York, I'm coming here, I'm coming there, he would always answer the phone. And when I get there, he would always show up and you know, introduce me to people, shoot the song, do the song, shoot the video, put me on his remixes. Man, he would do whatever he had to do. He even put me in my name in the song when he was going. Him and Meek was having a little rap situation.
How did you feel about Cassidy mentioning you during the Meek Mill beef?
I didn't feel nothing at all. I knew, you know, it's when you battling, man, people gonna say what they gonna say. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a sensitive dude, so you know, a lot of people get sensitive to certain things. It didn't matter to me. You know, I'm cool with both of them because behind closed doors, I was talking to both of them on the phone anyway when the shit was going on. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it was just, I was shocked. He didn't tell me he was going to do it. It just happened. And, you know, I was listening to everybody else and it happened. Like, you don't know when that type of shit going to happen. Like, when I said your name, when I said earn a name in the joint, You know what I'm saying? People don't know. You just be thinking, you be in your zone. He probably was in his zone and he just said it. I don't
Right.
think Meek took it no type way because I was cool with both of them.
Exactly. Like when Drake said AR Ab's name and then Ab woke up to all them messages. That's just sort of how it goes.
Right.
Yep. Yep. Especially, you know, with you having the name that you have in Philly as well, of course you're gonna get brought up here and there.
Mm-hmm.
But
Sometimes.
are you big on battle rap, Black Deniro?
Yeah. Very big battle rap fan. I'm my number one sport is boxing and football and battle rap.
Oh
You know what I'm
shit.
saying? So I watch all the battle rappers. You know, I know what's going on, and yeah, big fan.
So who's your favorite battle rapper of the moment, man?
Well, rock is probably always my favorite. Like I don't like Tay Rock is just like crazy. Right. So I don't know if it's a favorite, but I like top five, top five. And that's I probably need a top 10. Rock, Goods, um, Geechee right now,
He's lit.
Calico, um, and I don't know because there's so many, man. I like
Yeah.
and
Hollow
Verb on his A
Don,
game. And Verb, yeah, I like Hollow Verb. It's a
Surf.
good joint, man, with so many people, yo. You know what I mean? Even with Philly, it's just like Reed and it's a lot of
Yep.
people, bro.
Reed just did his
So
thing.
I like
From what Kay
like
Walker was
personal
telling me.
relationships outside of it. Like I know everybody, but the first person that I was actually really cool with was Hoffa, was Mav.
Math.
Um, yeah, so Mav Cortez, I'm cool with them outside of battle rap. Of course, everybody know Goods. We probably the closest, and yeah, everybody else we just know each other. Me and Geechee developing a nice relationship. He's very supportive and he's dope, man. He's a genuine dude. He couldn't even make it to my movie premiere. He was supposed to be in Jenny. Couldn't make it because he had a battle coming up. But then he couldn't make it to the premiere, so he just sent me $100 to say donate some tickets. You know, when you do stuff like that, it's like you got somebody that live right around the corner that won't do that shit.
So yo, I want to ask you about Cassidy's return to battle rap though. You know, I've been
Mm-hmm.
big on it. I think he's had a bunch of dope battles, you know, Disaster, Goods, Arsenal, and Hitman Holla. What's been your take on his return to battle rap?
I think the one with Hitman was the best one he ever did. Um, Probably was expected to beat Disaster. Um, I think he's learning more about that. That is definitely different because you see he's switching it up now. It's definitely different. Um, I like it, man. You know, Cassidy, he's very competitive. He's super duper confident. So, you know, it's hard to stop somebody like Cassidy because it's just because his mouth alone when he's talking, he's not going to let you just. Cassidy just feels like he's greater than everybody, and there's nothing wrong with that, I guess. So, you know what I mean? I like it, man. He goes in there with that confidence. You don't know what you're going to get out of him at the time, but I don't think he got landslide with nobody. I just think he had to learn the ins and outs to stepping into a new situation, and I think he's just getting better as he goes.
You know, what did you think about Cassidy blowing up when he did on that pop sensation? You know, he blew up on the pop charts after coming up really as being, you know, the Bull B.
Well, but we knew that was going to happen because Cass was on the radio every day. Like people called up for like months, and then he got a chance. Like you'd be a winner. It was a battle rap thing Cosmic Academy had or Pioneer 9 or whatever. And every night people had to call to try and take the championship from Cassidy. It didn't happen. Like everybody, he already had shit on fire. You know, we know things before from your own town before other people know. So in Buffalo, they might be like, Benny the Butcher's coming, but we didn't know he was coming. So he got here. Um, when I used to be in the studio with Norbs and Hoffa, they used to be like, who y'all got here? And I used to be like, we got this kid named Meek Mills. They didn't even know him. And I was like, who y'all got? They like, we got this guy named Vado. I never heard of him. And then as time go on, you know what I'm saying? So it's the same thing with Cass. We already knew he was sick with it. So it was just like a matter of time.
I know you told me a few things in the interview about Gilly, man, but how far back do you and Gilly go?
I know Gilly since I've known him since 99. I used to see him. His sister used to talk to one of my homies, and up here, I just thought like nobody was fucking with me. She just kept saying, "This is the days we used to be in the car listening to our tape, everybody smoking." And she's like, "Put my brother in, my brother rap, my brother rap." I'm like, oh, nobody want to hear your brother. You know what I'm saying? And she put him in one day. I was like, damn, this nigga was crazy. That was the first time I ever heard, I think, Desert Eagle Metal in the door, pedal to the floor, that joint. And I'm like, this nigga voice, his delivery, his words was crazy. So I used to see him all the time. Adams Lane, bowling alley, different places, New York, Philly, Miami. We be in Miami. They standing, I'm standing in Delano. They stand in the hotel right next to it. This is throwback Jersey days. I'm down there with the throwbacks. So I used to see him. We was getting money. He knew I was getting money. I knew he was getting money. So we used to always see each other. And then he came down to the studio one time off the Hook Entertainment, 7th and Hoffman. It was him and I don't know if it was Bianca or something. It was him and just one other person. And we was all rapping. It was rapping. And I had just got finished getting a hernia operation. And so I couldn't stand up. And I sat down and I was rapping. And you know, when you have a big cipher and it's a lot of people, certain people gonna link after that cipher. And that's what happened with me and him. You know, he came down to do a feature for one of the lead artists, M3. We didn't really say too much at that point. But then when he came back for that cipher after that, that's when that was my chance to show this nigga like who I am. And we was rapping and we exchanged numbers. It was cool. All right, from there. And then, you know, my kids called Gilly Uncle Gil. I had one surprise party in my life ever that my woman had threw me. He helped set it up. And I've got there, him and Tito was there. And like, we do everything together, man. I've been out to his home and where he live at. And, you know, me and Gil got a lot of history. A lot of history.
So when Gilly started working with Cash Money, did that motivate you to see that Philly talent was actually getting the chance?
Yeah, I didn't know Gil then, really. I knew him, but I didn't know him. So at that point, my attitude was like, it was cool. It was giving me motivation when I was seeing everybody doing that shit, but I didn't give a fuck about no Freeway, no, and that's my best. He's the most genuine dude ever. Like, that's one of my top dogs when it comes to anything. Like, if you don't, I can't let nobody play with Freeway. I ain't give a fuck about no Freeway, no Gilly, no Sigel, no. I ain't give a fuck about nobody. I was competitive. I didn't want to hear that. It would push me to get there, but I was on some shit like, man, ain't nobody fucking with me. That was my mindset back then. So yeah, it was like, it wasn't motivational. It was like looking at it like good shit. I didn't look at it like, ooh, I got to get there, because I wasn't sitting in a dark hut, fucked up and hungry and broke. I was riding around picking which fucking car I was going to match my clothes with that day. So I was chilling. I was just like, all right, cool. That's nice. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't really tripping on it because I was like, I wasn't taking it serious then like that. It was just rapping. I just felt like nobody was fucking with me because I knew I was rapping what I did that yesterday or I did that day, and niggas was loving it. And I'm sitting back doing everything that I was saying. It felt good to me. I was my biggest fan.
So were you messing with Gilly by the time he started beefing with Lil Wayne?
Yeah. Yeah, we were done with each other. Gil brought Wayne up to the studio. Yeah, I was with him then. You know, people know they took his swag. You ain't never heard Jay-Z whisper until Lil Chris came on the scene. Like, that's what happens, man. And people, you know, you say that, people get upset. It's a fact, man. That's Chris flow. You know, so people, you know, Philly got a different aura with them. They got a different swag about them. So yeah, I was dealing with Gil, and Gil talk a lot of shit, so it wasn't nothing new. Like, every day we came in, it was some shit about Lil Wayne, talking every fucking day, because shit, he's still talking about it sometimes. So, you know what I mean? Even if he's joking about it right now, but I had to hear that shit for years, man. Gil, if you on his radar, he ain't letting up. He gonna talk all fucking every day about that shit.
So Black Deniro, tell me about when Gilly the Kid brought Lil Wayne to the studio, though, man. That had to be epic.
Man, it wasn't epic. I mean, I didn't give a fuck about nobody because I didn't never get starstruck. Any nigga I ever met, I was just like, and Wayne wasn't that at that point. So it was like niggas was just like, "What's up, nigga?" You know what I'm saying? Like we ain't give a fuck. It didn't feel like an epic moment. It just felt like because at the time my dog was bigger than them. Like Gil was like, you know what I mean, he was that nigga. So we didn't give a fuck. That was his man. It was like, you got Lil Wayne with you, all right? So what's up, little nigga? You know what I'm saying? It wasn't no like, oh shit. Like
Yeah.
it was what it was.
Damn, Gilly done brought everybody out to the studio then. Will Smith, everyone's
Yeah,
seen
Will
that
Smith. I met a
video.
lot of people through Gil. I met a lot of people through Gil.
Oh yeah,
A lot
man.
of people. A lot of people. I met a lot of people on my own and through my own hard work, but I met a lot of people through him too.
How was it back then when you were watching Gilly and Beanie Sigel in a cipher, though, man? How would you compare them to?
I never actually saw them in a cipher together, but I was in ciphers with both of them on my own time. Just man, like if anybody was fucking with Siegel at that point, it would have been Gilly. But that's fucking with Siegel. The best was Siegel. Like, there's nobody just wasn't fucking with Siegel, man. And this is my opinion. Anybody wasn't fucking with dude. But it was good, you know what I'm saying? It was good. That was a good battle or anything too. But that nigga was different. And Gil was different too. Gil had that charisma and all of that, but Siegel just was dark. And I was more dark. And Gil was gangster, but he was flashy. I was more dark back then, wearing all black. I wore black leather gloves and always was strapped, and I was on some shit. So I liked that grimy shit at that point.
Yeah, I wanted to ask, how did it feel being a mutual friend of both, major figures in state property, seeing them actually clash?
I didn't know them when they was clashing. I didn't know them when they clashed. I met everybody afterwards.
Before we get out of here, I want to talk a little bit more about movies, man. Little Boosie just released his new film, My Struggle.
No,
What do you think
that
of Little
that
Boosie actually deciding to put himself on the screen?
that gives me motivation. When I see shit like that, I always be like, it can be done. It's always can be done. Like he just made $1,000,000 in 24 fucking hours. If you could do it, I can do it. That's how I look at it. That's how I just look at it, man. I really believe that. Whoever can do it, everything's reachable. Anything's reachable. I'm a believer. I believe in myself. I believe in God. I believe in my talent. I believe in myself. So I see stuff like that and I'll be like, okay, so that's gonna bring more light on these people to start understanding too that these urban filmmakers that's really talking that shit and writing these storylines is dope. So, salute to Boosie for that.
Yeah, Boosie said putting the film out himself was actually really lucrative. Is that something that you would be interested in doing, like telling your rap story on the screen?
Nah, I'm saving that for my all that for my documentary. My movies, man, you see Brush, it's a different twist. You see Backfire, it's a different twist. It's more the story is a different twist. Jenny got a whole super different twist. So I'm just focused on making movies that's captivating people and they don't see it coming. I don't want to tell them the same story they hear me say in interviews or see on my documentary. A lot of people know, a lot of people don't know. I say that's why I get on a bigger scale to do all that once again. But for the most part, man, I'm just doing fire ass action movies with twists that people can every culture can captivate every culture.
What's been your thoughts on some of the other hip hop films like the NWA Straight Outta Compton, Get
Oh,
Rich or Die Trying, Notorious?
that's dope. Shout out to Gravy. That's my homie. Um, that played Big in that movie. See, those movies we know the story, so you want to see it, especially if you come from that era. So I think all of those was fire. Everybody did a good job on them joints, especially NWA joint. It was fire. I liked all them joints. Now, I mean, that's different. So
8
telling that story,
Mile.
these were already people that made it and it was, iconic people. So it was dope to see that story. I haven't gotten to that level to show it about my rap career. And I didn't really achieve too much in rap. You know what I'm saying? I did way bigger shit with I said I had a nice buzz, but I did bigger shit with movies and being on Netflix than I ever did with rap. I made way more money, and I made a lot of money off rap. I'm still making rap money. I made a lot of money off movies, though. Movies is different. It's way different.
Oh yeah, man. It's great to see you progressing like that. I look forward to see what the future holds for you as well, man. You know, like I said, you're getting better and better with each film.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. That's the goal, you know?